What's good, guys? Welcome back to Small Talk and Head-to-Head Fantasy Basketball. And of course, I'm being joined with Anson. What's good, my boy?
What's good, guys? Today we're going to be going over ESPN head-to-head 12-man pickups. These are players that, because of recent events or players getting hurt, these are guys that could step up potentially for the rest of the year.
Yeah, let's get started on some of these pickups for you guys. First one we got is Market Smart. So I know a lot of people are currently dropping Marcus Smart just because he's out for 5 more weeks. He was out for 6 weeks. And a lot of people don't really want to hold on to Marcus Smart right now. I understand it, but if you do have an IR slot that is open, I recommend you guys grabbing Marcus Smart. Moran is already out for the season, and Marcus Smart is definitely going to have that usage bump. And we saw with it's a small sample size, but we saw what Marcus Smart could do with no Morant. 46 fantasy points per game is really, really good if if he's on your free agency. So if Marcus Smart is there, definitely try to grab him. Even if you're don't have a free IR slot, and if you guys are playing one IRs, if you guys have a very like if you're like 10-2, like 9-3 right now, I don't think it'll be a bad pickup for Marcus Smart. You're ahead in your league. You might, lose 1, maybe 2 weeks, but overall, if you have Marcus Smart coming back, he's definitely gonna be it's gonna be pretty good for you guys to give you guys that boost in your team since without the whole Morant and Bane situation. So Marcus Smart should be definitely must rostered on all formats.
Yeah, the only reason why you wouldn't have Marcus Smart is if you already have someone in your IR and you're kind of competing for that playoff spot, you're middle of the pack, then maybe you wouldn't because there's only 7 more regular season matchups for head-to-head fantasy, and Marcus Smart is going to be out for at least 5 of them. But like Alan said, if you're already ahead, right, without John Morant, we've seen Marcus Smart average 46 fantasy point. Is that sustainable? He was shooting really well, but he definitely should be able to average 35, 36 fantasy point, which is definitely must roster, especially if you're playing in deeper leagues like 12 man or even 10 man. He would be must rosterable. So I definitely think it's worth if you think you can roster him while making the playoffs.
Yeah, so make sure Marcus Smart is not on your free agency. If he is, maybe try to make some moves and try to get Marcus Smart on your roster. Let's move on from Marcus Smart. We have the other Memphis player, Vince Williams Jr. He just signed his contract and looks like they're gonna run with him for now, have him develop. And as of right now, he's playing amazing. Like he's doing really, really well. Last 7 games, 32 fantasy points per game. But it is including the ones where he didn't really play 30 plus minutes. He only played like 20 plus minutes there. But as of right now, he's a starter and he's looking really, really good. Looks very, very talented and he looks like he's be a really good fantasy producer. So Vince Williams is on your free agency. He's only 10.7%. So a lot of people might be sleeping on him. You should definitely try to grab Vince Williams. If you don't have Marcus Smart, it's cool. Grab somebody else. Vince Williams is up there in usage. So if you're able to grab Vince Williams, I think he'll be a really good hold for a minute. I know there's a lot of injuries happening on Memphis right now, so if he's able to stay healthy, he'll definitely get a lot of fantasy points.
Yeah, Marcus Smart is mainly a long-term play, but Vince Williams Jr. is going to be a player you can grab and can instantly help you for at least the next 4 or 5 weeks until Bain and Smart comes back. And even with Bain and Smart coming back, there's still Memphis still needs a whole lot of offense. They really like how Vince Williams can kind of stretch the floor, play in the perimeter, but also be a very good defender. So even if Bain and Smart comes back, that three position, someone has to play small forward. I think Williams Jr. could definitely still hold his starting position.
Yeah, that was a great addition at the end. Yeah, I think Vince Williams can definitely hold that starting position if he continues to prove that, hey, I can play well, and I know my role. I think he's in for a lot of minutes in the future when everybody comes back. But let's move on from Vince Williams. We have another Memphis player. I think this is the last Memphis player, guys. So Luke Kennard. So again, similar reasoning. We won't be spending too much time with Luke Kennard. Morant, Bain, Smart, all out. So they need a guard, right? They got Luke Canard playing point guard slash shooting guard as of right now, and he's looking to be in for like a lot of usage. And he's one of those players that, like I said, if you can't get Marcus Smart, you can't get Vince Williams Jr., and you're like, yo, I think somebody else on Memphis might could go off, Luke Kennard is that guy, right? He shoots threes, he plays well, and he's playing heavier minutes now, and we can start seeing that he's averaging a little bit more fantasy points. So if he's able to continue to figure out his role in Memphis as of right now, with everyone being out, I think Luke Kennard could be a solid stream, good pickup for even a potential hold. But as of right now, I think Luke Kennard you can just kind of throw a pickup at him and see how he does. And if he does well, great. You have a potential hold for a little bit while everybody's injured. But if it's a miss, then Luke Kennard, you can just cycle him, drop somebody else. I don't think he'll be too bad. I think the floor for Luke Kennard is relatively high. So even if you do pick him up and he drops like 30 fantasy points, it's not bad. And you can just use him as a stream. So it wouldn't be too bad for Luke Kennard.
Yeah, you could kind of view the Luke Canard pickup similarly to how Duncan Robinson helped a lot of people out uh in the first quarter of the season when Tyler Hero was out with the injury and then Butler was in and out of lineups. There just has to be someone to kind of take up that shooting volume. That's basically the same position Luke Kennard is in. He has a similar play style to Duncan Robinson, similar fantasy output where if he's making his shots, then yeah, he can have a really big game, but if his shots don't go in, he doesn't have a lot of peripheral stats, then Luke Kennard's really going to struggle to give you fantasy production. With Bane out, Smart out, obviously Morant's out, someone has to take shots. Someone has to take perimeter shots and stretch the floor for Memphis. Yes, to have Vince Williams Jr., but there just isn't enough on Memphis, and Luke Kennard, he's just in a really good position to take a lot of shots, and we've seen his minutes go up, his fantasy uh went up, and he hasn't even shot that well the past 3 games, but he's able to take up more shots. So I think Luke Kennard is definitely a pretty good. There's definitely some upside with Luke Kennard.
Yeah, they're gonna definitely need the offense that Luke Kennard can provide. So, like Anson said already, if a shot's going in, you can easily drop 40, 50 fantasy points for you guys. But let's move on from Luke Kennard. We have Dennis Smith Jr. I know this one's probably like, whoa, Dennis Smith Jr. Well, if you take a quick look at, the Brooklyn Nets stats, I know a lot of people might not follow the Brooklyn Nets, but we can see Dennis Smith Jr. being given more minutes. And it's kind of crazy since now he's getting more minutes than Spencer Dinwiddie himself. And I saw that they said they weren't really sure if Dennis Smith was going to be stuck in the starting lineup, and they're still messing with the lineups as of right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if Dennis Smith did take the starting lineup, like start over Dinwiddie. And right now we're seeing that, hey, when he starts, he's doing really well. So as of right now, I think Dennis Smith wouldn't be too bad of a long-term hold or even a quick stream if they decide to roll with Dinwiddie once Ben Simmons comes back and whatnot. But as of right now, Dennis Smith is one of those sleeper picks that you guys can grab in your free agency. That, hey, if I need somebody on Brooklyn or someone else is out, Dennis Smith wouldn't be too bad of a stream. I know a lot of people are starting to slowly pick him up, and if you guys have that, like I said earlier, if you guys are pretty good in your rankings, it wouldn't be too bad to have Dennis Smith to see how he plays out. Because if he does start, you're looking at probably a 33, 34 fantasy point average output from Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah, Dennis Smith is one of those players that he's a very high fantasy point per minute player. The problem is that he doesn't get enough minutes because he just isn't that good of a player. His fantasy output reflects him a lot better than how he is as a player. So the fact that he is getting starting to get more minutes with Dinwiddie hasn't been playing well. It is a good sign for Dennis Smith Jr. if he's able to get good minutes. We've seen Dennis Smith Jr. put up really big minutes and really big points when LaMelo Ball was out last year in Charlotte. So definitely, if Dinwiddie continues to get, uh, he's been getting 32 minutes, 29 minutes, high 20 minutes. If he's even able to get 25 minutes, I think he'd definitely be rosterable in 12 mans.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I really like how he plays. And it's just, if the coach does give him minutes, must roster, in my opinion. So let's move on from Dennis Smith. We have Larry Nance Jr., right? Another player that's, unexpected, I think, for you guys, because a lot of you guys don't really expect these pickups. But Larry Nance, as of right now, looks very solid. You know, it looks like he's getting a lot more minutes. His fantasy output is definitely getting higher. So he looks to be a like a somewhat good stream for the meantime until they change him out. But as of right now, Larry Nance wouldn't be too bad of a pickup. If you need somebody that's playing, for New Orleans, hey, Larry Nance, not a bad pickup. Quick stream to see how he does. And if he plays well, you can hold him for a little bit and see until what happens with the coaching and see how they want to move Larry Nance and maybe put him back down minutes. But as of right now, Larry Nance is getting more minutes. So when he does get more minutes, he does play a lot better. And as of right now, Larry Nance 3.4% rostered. If you guys have a streaming spot, you guys want to try it out, why not?
Yeah, it seems like the Pelicans, it seems like they like to run Larry Nance along with Zion a lot more than having Valanciunas with Zion, even though Valanciunas is just straight up the better player. Larry Nance seems to fit Zion more, kind of mixed up for uh the kind of the Zion's defensive liability with Jonas there. They both kind of like the paint and they're both kind of just slow. So Larry Nance athleticism kind of benefits the Pelicans more. They play a lot better with Larry Nance out there than Jonas. So his minutes are slightly trending upwards. He wasn't really rostered for most of the season, mostly and part of his injury. And when he came back, he was kind of slowly integrated into the lineup, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then now he's been getting 20 minutes per game. Last game, it got ticked up to 26 minutes. So if his minutes keep trending upwards, there's definitely some upside with picking up Larry Nance Jr.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. He could definitely pick up some more, like Anthony said, peripheral stats where he can get more rebounds, get more blocks, steals that all help his fantasy output. He doesn't really rely just on scoring, but he doesn't seem to struggle with the scoring at all. So if he's able to pick up some more other stats, definitely a must roster. And you guys can be one of the first to get him. So if you guys do get him and he does play well, you guys are here for it. So good job to you guys. But I think that should wrap up this video. Right, we just want to make a quick video for you guys to say, hey, who we think are good pickups. Is there anything you want to add to for them, Anson?
Yeah, make sure you guys go ahead and join our Discord if you haven't already. We have a community there. If you guys have any questions or you just want to talk about fantasy basketball, go ahead and join our Discord. Also, if you guys have any questions about these pickups, if you guys have some other people you have in mind, let us know in the comments below.
Sounds good. Yeah. So, like Anson said already, we do have a Discord. Welcome in. We're getting a lot of new members. It's completely free, so don't worry. We're not charging nothing. We do our best to help respond to all your questions. A lot of people are in there asking about trades that they're getting traded right now because I know people are unhappy. They're trying to make some moves, trying to get a W in their fantasy league. If that's one of you guys, if you're like, hey, there's a trade that someone's offering me, I want some input on it. Go join our Discord, drop it out. It's completely free, like I said. And if a lot of our replies are going to be a little bit later since we are busy, but we try to get through most, if not all of your questions. So if you guys are interested in that, Discord will be in the description below. But yeah, we'll see you guys on our next video. Peace.